Alright, guys, we are about to see God Squad versus RJF. And it's going to be an exciting match. We're going to go into the 2v2s very, very soon. Nate's casting, and I've got Paradox with me here co-casting. Glad to have you aboard, Paradox.
Thank you for having me, Nate. It's my pleasure. I haven't been around in quite a while, but I'm happy to help out a little bit and actually happy to be in a match where I at least know some people. I hope that helps.
Yes. Yes, and we're going straight in to the action now. To the 2v2s. If we can say, surprise, surprise, Kodiak Piranha and Kodiak Piranha. But looks like we both have
How
Kodiak
comes?
3s.
How comes?
Yes. Both teams on Kodiak 3s. We'll just see what's on them. An Ultra build from Bowser. And a Micro laser build with 6 machine guns from Stimrog. He's using the hero. Piranha. A full Micro laser, or lasers from Slave Labor. And a 4 AC-10 ER small from Pelmashek, and they're going about to engage here from long range.
Slave labor already checking out where the enemy is, but Bowser has taken a position in the back, trading with Kalmachek.
Looks like Bowser's taking damage on his arms. Pelmachek has lost some torso armor early. Pelmashek, I'd say. All right, he's about to lose that torso.
Yeah, he has to move down.
He did. It's 75 to 70, but the damage is spread over Bowser. Now he's a strike on him. I wonder if he sees it.
And Stim is trying to get an angle.
He's lost his torso, Pelmashek. Looks like the Piranhas have engaged. The low ground
They're
over
in a
here.
fight of themselves right now.
Pelmashek's down.
Pelmashek is already down. That's
Let's see. The Piranhas was going in Slave's favor, but now,
Slave is not looking good anymore.
no.
Stim is I'm not used to see him in a light actually. He's usually more of a heavy and assault pilot as far as I remember, but he's very good in one-on-ones.
I think Bowser is far too fresh still for Slave Labor to be able to pull this out.
Probably. Besides, Stim still looks great. And small lasers and machine guns do some serious work here.
Yep. Oh, Slave Labor gets the kill on Stimrog. Well done. And this changes
good.
things. He really could get underneath Bowser. It looks like Bowser isn't quite sure where he went. He gets a burn in for really no damage, too far away.
Yes, unfortunately. This actually could change the whole situation right now. It looked really good for gods. But now if Slave Labor is able to pull this off and get close to the Kodiak of Bowser.
And Bowser is
Close
smartly backing away. Slave Labor's
Yes.
just open side torso, but it's a Piranha, so...
And this is where you can really tell these are Div A pilots. They know what they are doing.
Yes.
Their positioning is on point here.
Yes. Bowser's smartly playing the middle of the hill. Slave is smartly going all the way around. Of course, Bowser is suspecting it because he hasn't seen him in a while. It's already looking to the left.
Yeah, he knows where he's going to come
Yeah,
from.
he puts a shot in right where he peeks, but he
Yeah.
misses.
That was close.
Slave is
And
very close. He's going
We
to commit.
expect him to look through the gap next. Let's see how Slave Labor is going to play this.
Oh,
That was a smart play here.
that was a good burn. 1%.
At least, yeah.
Another percent is whittling him down. I think he's just too fresh still. I think if he was just a little more hurt. Oh, a miss from Bowser. And another percent.
It's really hard to hit with his ACs.
he's whittling him down. It's 4% total now, and he's in that torso. He's into that torso.
But if Bowser gets one solid hit on slave labor,
hmm
it can be all over.
We'll give a Bowser perspective here of how hard it is to hit that piranha, and that
Another
is an
nice
awesome
run.
gap that he's chosen.
Yes.
To, it's just so you gotta. There's only like one place you can put those UACs.
And Bowser just can't be sure if he's going left or
Oh,
right.
he nailed him.
Oh,
He's going in. He's lost his torso. He only has micro lasers. He has to go in.
he has to. There's not much of a choice. He's gonna try to get into his back right now at least,
And he has.
hoping.
He has.
Yes.
He has. Oh,
But if Bowser gets one of these
done.
PPC shots
Oh, that's
in,
such a
there we
good
go.
match.
Ah,
Such a
but
good match.
what a nice start.
That's a great start. Well done.
So,
Really, I think if he hadn't lost that torso, he could have just been behind him. He would have taken
sure,
him forever to back into that wall.
probably. But Bowser is way too accurate. Not to hit at least once in a while, even against the light. And you can see here, Bowser did a lot of damage overall, 489 on his side. Um, Pelmashek was not too lucky in the Kodiak, but still doing 320, which should have been
hmm
good. But Bowser was good shielding with his arms, and Slave Labor with a total of 226 damage, which was not enough to take Bowser down in the end. Stim here with 134 damage in the Piranha.
Very good. Good match. Exciting.
Great
Well
start.
played. We'll go to our stats page, and you can see Bowser doing a hefty amount of damage. Pelmashek doing pretty good. I think it really just the focus on that torso early,
Yes.
and
And Bowser had an advantage in trading early on,
yes,
which paid off in the end.
and his teams invite their players in, and looks like EMP wants the Team 2 side, so we'll go ahead and switch them, and they
Right.
can get their boys in. We'll go over to the lobby. We can see how some of the other games and matches have been playing out in the different divisions.
So we're gonna switch now for the next drop for Polar Highlands.
Boy, that was just a really fun match. I mean, I was pulling for the underdog, which was the Piranha. But I mean, who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't, of course. But I mean, we have two top teams here with
hmm
RJF, with Gods. With Gods, a mix of very well-known, accomplished top Div A pilots. But I'm very curious to see whom we're gonna have in the actual drops with the full teams right now.
Yes, you said you've stepped out for a little bit of time, so you're excited to see who they pull in, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm curious how many familiar faces I'm gonna get to see today. That's gonna be interesting. By the way, we are gonna play the next drop on Polar Highlands Conquest. If I'm not mistaken, the conquest point for this map is Theta.
We'll go over to the map strats page if you like, and it's up. Yeah, Theta is correct. Um, Polar Highlands Conquest Theta Cap. There's, trying to make a map like Polar exciting is kind of tough.
Actually, I like Polar Highlands. I don't know.
Yeah.
about you, but I think it's actually one of the more interesting maps to play, especially from a competitive perspective, with all the little hills and the peaking you can do, and you have to have a good routing through the map to make your way close enough to the enemy. I've seen so many different kinds of strategies being pulled off on this map, including Brawl, which for most people is probably not the first choice on a map this big.
All right, we need to switch back to.
So we are switching back to an A.
Yeah, we're going to switch back to the North American servers unless both teams agree to do the EU servers. Some, it's beneficial. I always like to ask the
Of course.
teams.
Usually there should be a lot of EU pilots on both teams, but probably not all EU pilots on the God side. In my boat we play on Oceanic. Of
Yes,
course.
it's fair and equal.
What say you, RJF?
Yes, let's just see
Damn
pings
it.
of 400 on both sides and
That's pretty great.
all kinds of crazy lag shooting.
By the way, we have quite a lot of viewers on the stream right now already. I see more than 50, 52 at this point of time.
And yeah,
Welcome everybody.
there are two great streams going, so viewers can get
Yes.
on MechWarrior Leagues and MechWarrior Leagues 2 and just jump back and forth. And maybe if we do well enough, the games will offset, so you can just go from game to game.
That would be quite interesting. So everybody, if you're bored of boring Division A pilots doing their usual comp stuff, executing their strategies very well, and just minor mistakes deciding the match, there's another match for you if you want to watch. Which is it? GNX versus Phoenix Legion, if I'm not mistaken, in
Yes, a very
Division
good match
B.
as well.
Yeah, Phoenix Legion, by the way, a great team as well. They've been that I recently talked to them since I used to scrim with them a lot back in my active days, and they said they are a little bit rusty. They are very happy that they have been placed in Division B. They wouldn't have stand a chance in Division A. That's at least what they told me. I'm not quite sure if that's accurate, but great team as well, and certainly fun to watch too, if you want to look at something different here.
Yeah, um, they're doing a good job. Looks like Team One has 3 minutes left.
We stay on NA servers. That's decided.
All right, NA done. End of combat. It's just asking the teams. Hope nobody gets mad. Nobody get mad. Being kind and gracious hosts. That other match is going to be great as
So
well.
tell me a little bit about the rules of Trials of Combat.
Okay, so
Since
yeah, you're
I've
coming
been
back
out
in.
of the loop a little bit. Yes.
So on this particular drop, we have one heavy, one medium, and 3 lights, and that really makes it interesting. And no lock-ons, by the way, in drop 1. No lock-ons are going to happen because nobody wants to see 3 streak. I guess some people would want to see streak mechs, but it makes it interesting. It makes it not Lerm Fest. So
Of course.
a lot of the way these this particular drop has worked out is MPLs are very strong. So you see a lot of MPL mechs and a lot of not really NSRing, but a lot of pushing, a lot of side flanking, and then kind of swarming. And the number one weapon of choice is MPL. Every once in a while, you'll see a medium laser or ER medium laser light, and I've actually seen some games where that has won just barely. But generally, you're going to see close in a lot of feeling each other out over the 2 ridges right around Theta, and then kind of if you catch somebody out, kill them, then you just push.
Of course,
dominoes.
of course. I mean,
Yeah.
especially with three lights in the drop on a map like Polar Highlands, it's obvious we are not going to see a lot of trading. These mechs are way too
Yeah.
fast. They can get in fast very easily,
Oh,
and therefore it would make sense to bring
yeah,
any long range
you see
mechs. Mechs.
the I-10 I-11 hill from the other side, J10 K11. They kind of look over theta. You see a little bit of rotation usually into J12 from team 1 and over to J10 from team 2, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. Where both teams are locked up and we're ready to launch in, so get excited
Round
again. If
three.
if this match is
Mm.
like the 2v2s, then this is going to be very, very fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna be curious. By the way, while we are waiting for the match actually to start, I told you I've been out of the loop for quite
Hmm.
a while. Can you remind me about the spectator controls? I mean, if anybody out you there ever have to sit in a lobby as a spectator, it might be helpful to you as well.
Oh, okay. It's the
Um,
default spectator
yes,
buttons are tab, backspace, backslash will get you, and spacebar will get you most of what you want. I've actually reset mine to be more amenable and to make more sense to me. Um, and so that's just going off memory.
sounds good already.
So yeah, I think those will get you basically the team mechs.
So what I still remember is you can usually move around with WASD. You can use
Yes,
R and F to get up
up
high
and
and
down,
low, right?
and mouse to
And
click.
by the way,
P
the
actually lets
P,
you free swing your mouse and click on the individual mech.
that was what I was looking for.
Yes, which what I'll do right
Uh,
now to
which team are you having a look at?
RJF.
Okay, then I
Oh, my
will
God Squad didn't show. I'll
check
fix that
out.
overlay in a minute. But we have a medium pulse laser Panther, a medium pulse laser K9, a medium pulse laser Nova, medium pulse laser Wolfhound, and a medium pulse laser Summoner. So there we go from.
It's not bad. We have a Commando with SRMs,
Hmm.
a Dervish medium pulse laser, and two rocket launcher 10s. Urban Mech with 5 medium pulse. Linebacker 6 medium pulse.
Hmm.
And what else do we have?
The
And a
Wolfhound
Wolfhound?
medium pulse. Did you grab that one?
Yes,
The
that's one.
front, yeah. So, like we said, medium pulse heavy. Both teams smartly taking and balled up and trekking towards Theta to more or less occupy those feel you out positions before the match starts. That Dervish is a new. Are you familiar with it, Paradox?
Not yet. Not yet. I've seen it in one of my quick play matches, but I have no idea what I should expect from it.
A
So
little early
maybe tell me
trading.
a little bit about it.
Bowser going in to take the cap. Slave Labor is going to be looking right at him. The Dervish is very strong, especially the rocket launchers that give the 10% bonus to armor sitting in the torsos. Um,
Nice.
it's like a Phoenix Hawk, but with tons of armor. So think about it that way. Free swinging arms. It's very strong. Um, so Slave Labor's taking some early damage. Bowser not really.
By the way, the chat is reminding us that we need to update the points. They are of course correct. We are gonna do that.
Oh yes, of course, yeah. It's 2-1 in favor of God Squad. I'll make sure to do that. I'll get that
Slave and
overlay
White
switched.
Eyes already took a little bit of damage. On the other side, Theos and the linebacker got
Yeah, I've
some
got
help
them
already.
selected. It's kind of all over though. It's not really focused in one location.
Which is to be expected with these fast mechs and pilots who are very capable of torso twisting
Yes.
and spreading damage. And gods now have taken control of Theta. They are sitting quite well around the Theta cap point, pushing RJF a little bit back.
Yep. Zeus is the slave labor's a little bit damaged in the Wolfhound, but I suspect as I click on him that it's all over the place as well, and it's
And
in his
Theos has
arm. So,
Yeah, but I think Theos has to be a little bit more careful right now because his right torso is dark orange already.
yes, it is. But he has smartly moved behind three other of his teammates. That's a lot of strike bait territory. I'd be interested to see more thrown right now, especially where EMP is in that low bowl. There are a couple of hills in the way, but there's a strike right there. They
First one
see it,
coming
they move
in,
away. Zeus might get caught by it. Oh, Bowser has one land right next to him.
but still at 100%.
Yeah, well, that's a commando. Even if a strike hit him, it might be 100%.
If RJF is playing it smart, they're gonna take out that linebacker as fast as they can
Yeah,
because it's the only advantage they have right now. The rest of the Gods team is pretty fresh,
they're
actually.
really working that torso on Zeus very smartly. They really have to. Oh, that's a great strike. Magoat might catch it. Uh, well, if it was
Ah,
a
so-
not an airstrike, it would have really.
but
Um,
Theo's right shoulder now on internals, yellow
mm-hmm.
internals. Slave has to be a little bit careful on the
Oh,
other side as well.
they almost got him again. Looks like Polly took a couple to the CT there. Another strike is going to roll
And
through.
there goes the right torso of Theos. The linebacker is only half a mech right now. And this is an opportunity RJF needs to seize right now.
A
If they
Slaver might
don't,
get caught out over here, though. This is
yeah, that's very very
he's
dangerous
very
what he's doing there.
exposed, and looks like it's going to roll to the right. And there's the engagement. Slave gets away. They're trying to leg him. The summoner's
Shake and
in.
MK coming in a little bit late maybe.
Oh no, Slave's torso. That's what's going on. They're working on the
Yeah,
summoner.
he's
Commando's in
hiding.
his back.
Stim is getting out of the way as well. Hurt a little bit. Gods is spreading damage over all
Polly's
their
down.
mechs very nicely. Yes.
Looks like,
That's
yep. Summoner next.
Volkodov on the other side. Slave at 39%.
Stimrog's
Now
down.
Stim went down, but at the same time Slave went down.
I think that this commando's going to win the day. It's just running unchecked in the back of the Nova right now, just free farming. Zeus is probably going to fall. Yeah, the Nova's done.
Yeah.
Commando for the
Bowser,
win.
Bowser is doing a very good job here again.
Zeus is doing a good job just staying alive. They're really trying to work him over.
Yes, for sure.
Looks like
Now it's just White Eyes and MK that who are left.
the Mark
And
IV, yeah, Wide Eyes is going to
MK
go down.
he wants to get that kill on the linebacker.
That's
I'm not
smart.
sure if
Get the points.
at least some points for him, but
One
the
more shot.
linebacker start to take a tanky mech. That could be
One
could
more
turn out
shot. He's done.
effective.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah, at least some points for him.
And the
Yes.
tanky Dervish and the tanky Commando take the win here. Dervish is almost leg, but he's not going to make it. And there's match one, very carefully played by both teams.
What was quite impressive to me here was how God spread the damage over the whole team. Even when the linebacker was damaged early on a little bit, he took a step back, his team moved up, and they rotated in and out of the brawl very well. And we will have a quick look at the damage here, especially checking Bowser's commando. He did 475 damage, but the Dervish of McGoat, 500 damage. So
Yeah.
both of them had a field day, spreading 3 kills between both of them. On the other side, MK, who took the final kill in the end against Theos in the linebacker, did all the 3 kills for RJF.
And that Dervish is
And
strong. That's something I
yeah,
forgot to mention about it. It's 20% reduction in damage to it as well with those closed bay
that's,
doors. Yes,
that's
quite
pretty
strong.
strong, certainly.
And of
Nova's
course,
still a thing. I mean, I see Palmashek taking one here, and I still remember Novas have always been strong in the brawl, but are
Novas
they
are
still as strong?
they are strong. They're not as strong. We'll go over to the stats page. Very, very low team damage, as to be kind of expected. And very equal damage numbers. Honestly, it's a good match. But yeah, Novas, you don't see him as much anymore. Things like the Dervish have supplanted them.
And the chat is telling me here the backshot arms are a bit squishy on the Dervish, though, compared to the Phoenix.
The arms are,
Probably.
but and you would think as you're looking at them in the mech lab that's what you'd go for. but it just doesn't work out that way in battle. For it just it's it's almost like the boxiness of its torsos make you want to shoot that. you know, you don't. The arms are very thin on the side. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't seem to ever work out. Where I see a dervish that has been disarmed, literally. So we'll update the score as well.
That's great.
Go over.
By the way, the chat is telling us we could put my sound a little bit higher, maybe.
Ah, I can do that. It's easy.
That's great. And the teams are back in the lobby preparing
Done.
for drop number 2 or 3, however you want to count it. If you include the first duel, the 2v2, it's drop 3, obviously, with 2 lights and 3 heavies, which is gonna be quite interesting. This time on Forest Colony Classic, I have to adjust that. Such a nasty map. With Kappa as a cap point. What I really don't like about Forest Colony Classic, besides it's one of the old school maps and therefore I kinda like it, but it's quite foggy and you can't see very far.
Yes, and we need to switch. We need to swap RJF and God Squad. The lobby for Team 1, Team 2. Just to remind, if you drag the player over another player, it'll swap both of them at the same time.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Learning something again.
That's an advanced lobby.
But it was not always like that,
No.
wasn't it?
I don't know.
I'm glad.
I don't know. I'm just
Maybe
gonna say no to
I've
make you
done
feel
it
better.
wrong all my life. Imagine that. I used to manage a lot of lobbies back in the days. I could have saved so much time. Damn it.
We'll put Team 1 on the timer here. Yeah. You look back and you're like, all those seconds wasted. And hopefully the COD squad will show up instead of Team 1. I promise it's right. We'll see if it updates correctly.
So,
And if we're
Conquest
looking,
again. Forest Colony Classic. North American servers. 10 minutes. First person only for everybody.
yes, in day, unless it's in A. We're over at the map
Yes.
strat room,
Yeah.
where we see this is like what old map, and there's so many ways that you could play this still, and especially in a 5v5. You get a few more
But-
players, and I think it favors long range. But
But
5v5,
with 2 lights and 3 heavies, what would you expect?
a
I mean, we have Kappa as a cap point. If
more medium pulsed,
Again, huh?
screeners.
a little bit of early trading, and then they are probably going in again.
Yeah, I mean, you have these early hills, like the Charlie 2 hill you can get up. You can be in the water down here in Charlie 3 for Team 2.
Yes.
Team 1 doesn't really have great lines. That you kind of have to walk out into the water to get a look at the other team. I don't know what kind of arrow I'm trying to draw there, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen teams trying that, but on this level, this is probably not gonna work because I would expect RJF to notice any kind of this kind of move early on and react to it properly. But on the other hand, as strong as RJF is, GODs is the team to beat here, isn't it?
Yes, they're higher in the points by quite a bit. RJF pulling down a couple wins, and looks like Team 1 might be locked here. As soon as they say it, doesn't count till they say it. Okay, and they're ready. Great. Say Team 2. And on this map, it is easy to see where the enemy is going. If they kind of try to go up this Charlie 4, and you have any mech looking, forgot the radio tower. You can really just see what they're going to do, and you have time to shift. But the real question is, do you focus well enough? You know, I really think that any deck could work on this map if the team coordination aspect
Yes, for
is
sure.
good enough.
And that's the thing here is, and that's quite interesting to me. We have two Division A teams. They are pretty good when it comes to team coordination. There's usually
Yeah,
not a lot of
RJF's been
mistakes
playing.
made.
Mm-hmm.
But with GODs clearly the team to beat, and I think RJF they played GODs last week already and lost most of their drops if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Even if not all, I'm not quite sure about that. I haven't checked it yet.
I think they pulled
Maybe.
one drop in. Um,
Oh, that's nice, at least. But from this perspective, I would expect GODs to see what RJF is gonna do because they might try to do something different from last week. Try to come up with some new kind of strategy that
mm-hmm.
is a bit more aggressive or a bit more unusual to get an advantage, to get a situation that gods can't expect from them,
Yeah.
instead of doing the usual strategies that these teams usually
Well,
come up with.
like EMP is team one here, but I would be really surprised if we didn't see some kind of double AC2. Um, Stimrog loves his AC2s. It worked really
Mhm.
effectively in many matches this season. I don't see him abandoning that on this map, especially a map like this that's so, you know, so prone to
Yeah,
for it to being success. But we're ready to
yeah.
launch.
And teams are ready, so I would say let's start the match,
Yes.
and we are launching.
I predict.
By the way, quite interesting. RJF is choose did they choose Bravo as their?
Well, they're
I'm
yeah
not quite
the
sure.
inside spawn. It's all they're all so close though.
Yeah, it's the inside spawn, so therefore I wouldn't expect a water spread from them. They are probably going for radio towers, just like you pointed it out.
Yeah. We have. I'll start with EMP here. We have Magoat and Ultra 5 Black Widow. A Rifleman 2 with Stimrog with his AC2s. Medium Pulse K9. The Commando. And a Ultra 10 Summoner from Poly. That's really his signature mech. Go to the
Right,
other
and
side.
we have an Irby with Stimrock with Ultra AC2s, if I'm not mistaken. Am I?
Yes. And a dual Ultra 10 Thanatos. Uh, I think that RJF is outdecked here. And there's Stimrog splatting his AC2s. Oh, I forgot to pull
Yeah,
the overlay up. I apologize. There it is. Pelmashek receiving early damage.
Ultra AC5 Black Widow, yes. That's gonna be nasty.
Stimrog is a master of just sitting behind his firing line and just wailing AC2 spam down upon his foes. Wide Eyes and his linebacker already at 74%. They're finally returning fire to Stimrog, but they're way out of range. Good strike on
Right?
Stimrog. Looks like they're going to leg him. That could be quite effective.
Volkadov with Ultra AC10s and ECM in
And
the
it
back and the
misses him
Thanatos.
entirely.
He's trying to get some shots in, but he's struggling.
There's a headshot on Stimrog. Toaster is in trouble. Wide Eyes has a strike on him. It misses everybody. Oh, the RNG.
Oza is coming in from the backside in the commando again.
Yes. Get that fight. Thanatos and Commando. Oh, both are tied up. The Summoner and the Thanatos tied up by a
Yeah,
single Commando.
that's a
Uh,
pretty bad situation here.
Meanwhile, looks like they have a little bit of. Well, they really shouldn't be peeking without their others because it's a 4v3. The Commando's taking some damage, but it's a Commando.
This might have given gods the advantage they needed.
Oh, the Urban Mech just got nailed on the EMP side. And Volkodov is down. Linebacker looks like it's next. Bowser going in on the summoner. Really, even if the Bowser's down, summoner finished him, but they
Yeah, he
still
was
have to
pretty
deal with
hurt
that
in
rifleman in the back.
the shoulder.
I think this is
But
Mark 4
Toaster took
down.
out MK4.
You know, they could go straight into that ravine and kill the K9 and the summoner without taking
Yeah,
damage.
but on the other hand, the linebacker's down to 1 medium pulse laser.
Yes.
Pelmashek is open basically everywhere and about to die.
Looks like
He's one shot and there he goes.
Slave Labor from the K9. This is going to go EMP's way. Definitely. We'll see how many kills
Yeah, it's almost over.
Slave Labor can get.
Sim is still trying to get some shots in with the rifleman.
Does he have... and he's
But
done.
moving in right now as well, and that's it.
I mean, really,
So
even if they had
Polly
killed the
cleared up.
Warhammer and K9 and Summoner, the Rifleman was fresh, so...
Yes. And what we could see here very well, Gods started to put in some damage into RJF quite early, taking good overwatch positions and dishing out some serious damage before the fight even started, turning out in a result with just 1 kill for RJF and a clear victory for Gods.
Yeah.
And we can see here Stimrog in the Rifleman 2C with 961 damage. He really had a field day.
Yep. Look, the rest of the team. Look at the rest of the team.
Yeah.
I mean,
264 from Mego, 205 from Toaster, Paulie with 360, and Bowser with 199. You can clearly tell who dished out the damage here. And that was Stim. He went up early on up high and started to shoot basically the whole match. And the rest just had to clean up the field.
and I think this has been kind of the story of their season and how their team has chosen to break down. We'll go and get back into the lobby and switch the teams. Get the timer started, but posting Stimrog in that high overwatch position with AC2s usually, and by usually I mean probably about 90% of the time, and it works well for them. And then the rest of the team skirmishes in front, does the pinpoint damage, gets the kills. St. Pauli with 3 kills there, but Stimrog is really just in the back opening things with impunity. And I'd like to see RJF counter that. They like to push with MPLs. It's well known. So if you get a little bit too predictable, then it's very easy to counter. And
on the other hand, I mean, RJF is around in the MWO comp scene like forever.
yes.
But on the other hand, a lot of the comp players have dropped out of comp for quite some time and maybe came back for a tournament. I'm not sure what the situation with RJF is. If they just activated a lot of their pilots again, or if they kept playing the whole time. We've seen it with other teams as well, that they need to get back into form, back to their A game. And if you are not at this point of your game, if you didn't put the kind of practice in for the whole time,
Yes.
it's sometimes very advisable to try to pull out strategies that you know very well, that you know how to execute. Maybe the teams don't have the time for practice as they used for Worlds, for example. Where a lot of the top teams practice like 3, 4, 5 times a week, some even more. But right now the comp scene is a lot smaller and a lot of teams can't practice as much anymore. It's hard to get top level scrim partners as well, and therefore you might just drop back to some strategies you can execute well, and you just hope for the best in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. And you'll see it for teams that played together a long time in other comp matches, but maybe don't practice a whole lot now, because you'll see the odd, old meta build here and there, like say a Nova instead of a Dervish, for example. Just you'll see those, and you'll go, oh, okay. But they're not bad mechs. They're just maybe not the best you could have taken in that situation now. One of the things we saw with the ToC with the non-tonnage based drops is heavier tonnage in many cases is gonna give automatic advantage. Taking a 75 tonner that's just as good as a 65 tonner, but it's got more
Okay.
armor. That
Yeah.
changes the meta.
For sure. I mean, I'm not quite sure about how the meta changed as of recently. Have there been a lot of updates to weapon systems? I played a couple games recently since I stopped playing quite a while ago, but it seemed to me like everything is still kind of the same
More or less,
since
yes.
ATMs and MRMs have been introduced to the game. Were not many changes to the weapon systems like cooldowns and damage and heat and stuff like that. Was there?
No, there's not been much really. They did an update to SRMs, and the hit reg on SRMs is a little wonky now. So
Okay.
that's why you're probably not going to see as much.
Okay, so
You'll
even more
see
wonky
MPLs
now.
more than. Yeah, well, they say they fixed it. Who knows? I don't know.
Ah, all right.
But on that last match, something I wanted to point out is that I didn't when the stats were up. Is Stimrock actually did 75 damage to one of his teammates somewhere.
Oh,
St. Pauli did 30 damage to one of his teammates somewhere. So Volda. So you had a couple strikes reach out and touch teammates by accident, probably.
yeah,
Unless
it's
Stimrock was just
likely.
firing through his teammates with impunity. Who knows? Get out of my way.
But I just saw Stim dropped out of the lobby. Maybe somebody else is allowed to dish out some damage right now.
He's probably just building a
And
new AC2 mech.
I am worried he is, yes.
Okay, so 2 matches now we've seen, and RJF has played consistently together here. They know a couple things. They know if I was going into this match, I would go, okay, they're going to have AC2s probably, because you can on this map have AC2s. That commando has now thwarted them twice by
Yes,
distracting their heaviest mech twice, and he even took out the medium. And so you basically had these two drops were kind of a repeat of each other.
that's true. That's true. Let's hope we won't see a third drop like that. Stim just came back into the lobby. You were probably right. Building his next AC2 mech.
Yeah, he was reloading
Oh,
the ammo.
that's very likely, unfortunately. By the way, this is drop 3 right now. We have 3 mediums and 2 assaults
Oh, I'm gonna
playing
say it's gonna be
Frozen City.
an Annihilator AC2, Direwolf AC2 on the MP side, with ER Peep Beagle and 2 medium pulse. That's what you're gonna see. And RJF to counter
And
that
this,
would need to take PPCs,
yeah.
and at least enough skirmishing power to repel the medium pulse mechs if they try to close in. So let's see if that
And
takes
what do
place.
you expect them to actually do?
Well,
Since you're
hope,
quite confident about what Gods is gonna do.
well, I there's what you want and hope, and for the evenness of the game, and then how you think it probably will play out. And I don't know, predictions have been predictions. RGF likes to push in, likes to close the
Yes.
distance. That makes them a little predictable. EMP likes to sit back, likes to AC2 farm. That makes them a little predictable. So it's kind of like, what is it's the impetus is on RJF to change something to deal with EMP
But
naturally
on the
countered.
other hand, they can't try to beat God's EMP and Dropship 5 and the other guys here at what they are best at trading long range, at winning this
Yes.
one-on-one trades. That's not a strategy that would be suitable for RJF because
No.
Gods is simply superior in this kind of games. Therefore, they don't have much of a choice here in the end.
Well, I've seen RJF trade effectively with things like PPCs if
Agreed.
they take a counter
Agreed.
deck.
Could work. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Because now you see AC2s, the AC2s would try to push, so then it would be how good can they focus fire fast enough? We'll see. I think this is what we're going to see here. So we
By the
have
way,
locked from both teams.
we have logs. Okay, and Isaac, by the way, said that Stim did team damage to get over 1k damage.
I believe it.
It's even possible, yes.
It's possible.
Let's launch this match. So dropping Frozen City.
Theta's the
We
Death
have,
Valley.
yes, we have gods on Team 2 side, dropping. They were in Bravo,
There's a
correct?
little tonnage differential, but not enough to really.
Slightly.
You can you can guess, but it wasn't enough to know. It wasn't obvious. Obvious spawns.
We are waiting for teams to come in.
I'm always tempted to fly out to the dropships, and then I'm afraid as soon as I fly out, they'll roll in this way. All
By
right,
the way, cap point is Theta for this match.
yes, yes. All right, Jade Falcon. I don't know why the God Squad's doing that Team 2 thing. I have it in the file correctly, but medium pulse Vulcan, an Assassin 101 with medium pulse and SRMs, a Veagle with 2 ERPPCs, a 6 LB2 AC Mauler, and a 6 AC2 and 1 ER large Annihilator. What do we
You're
have on the
gonna
other side?
be a little bit surprised here. We have, of course, Stim in a 8 AC2 Direwolf and Polly in a Warhawk with 4 PPCs.
Okay.
McGoat in a Blackjack 3 with PPCs. But the other two mechs are a Veagle and an Assassin with SMs.
SRM Bloodlust and an SRM Assassin. I think that they were worried that RJF was going to take a very pushy push deck.
Yes, and that's their counter. And it might work quite well here and even help them out, especially if Bowser is doing what he did all game long already. Taking some damage here.
Yes. So they have 2 skirmishers that have SRMs, and then 6 total PPCs, and then the Direwolf who's trying to get a position angle. A very good strike. Very good
Oh,
strike
Palmashek took a lot of damage in this strike. His Mauler
on both
has to
sides.
be heard.
There was a strike on the EMP side that was right in the middle of 3 mechs and missed all of them. We have a flank.
And
Did they see them? They gave it away.
the
Oh.
assassin is coming in on Stimrock, distracting him, which it's not a bad strategy. If they can stay around and make sure that the 2 assaults don't get their damage in.
You see Bowser and Toaster trying to Zimbabwe
But
flank.
I see Volkodov and Palmashek moving in.
If they make that movement on the 3 EMP players up near Sigma right now, and it looks like they are, then very well could be too far away with Vulcan spotted, Bowser and Toaster. A great strike going in on Stimrog, partially shielded by that cliff.
But if we are looking at damage numbers, Palmashek is pretty hurt already. Volkodov is pretty hurt. Doesn't look too good for RJF at this point already. And even if Stim is down to 82%,
It's not
it's
enough.
spread all over his mech. Actually, it's not a lot of damage. Actually,
Strike damage on the
doesn't
Annie,
look
but
like.
yes, the Mauler also took a hefty strike. Wow.
And now RJF is even in a bad position. They are in the buildings,
In the bowl.
up high, in a ball, and Gods is going to do what they can do to surround them and shoot at them from different angles.
Yeah, they're moving. It looks like they were gonna move across the valley, and they still might,
They might, yes.
because they've countered
They
the
get.
lights. Yes, Mark IV and White Eyes are caught out on the side.
They
They
want
need
to
to
make sure
retreat.
that
They did.
RJF can't get Theta. They actually launched 2
Very good
UAVs to make sure
shots on
that they
Polly
see
here.
what's going on.
Polly's caught out if they take advantage of it.
Yeah, but Volkodov is going down.
Yeah, it's over. They're
That
gonna
was
lose both
quick.
their assaults. White Eyes is gonna go down. This is gonna be an EMP match.
Paulie is still hurt, but he keeps trading, and now he doesn't have to be worried about too much anymore with the two assaults down. And
No,
Palmashek is down to 30% as well.
they might get
27. He's
Bowser.
going down
He's
now.
legged. Bowser's leg. They might get him. Get the
It
kill.
looks like it. He's trying to
Yep,
shield his leg,
there's
but he's
done.
going down.
Looks like they're gonna go for the assassin as well, maybe.
But White Eyes in the assassin went down as well, so it's just Slave and MK who are left for RJF, and they are both hurt as well. Toaster doing some damage in the assassin,
Yeah, slave
taking out
labor's.
MK4, and Slave is not looking good anymore.
Slave still has his armor, but he's not gonna be able to. He might be able to get maybe two kills. He might be able to get Polly.
he
Polly's got both torsos very hurt. Looks like he's gonna go for him.
yeah, he's
Torso
fine, and
done.
he got him.
Self-destruction. He got the kill. Good job. But that's gonna be it. Assassin's
And
too
to be
fresh.
honest, it was not necessary
No, it was
to
not.
risk to die. But on the other hand, um, gods probably don't care too much about that.
Well, I can tell you, Polly was Polly was on my team. ToC won.
Okay.
And at the end of the game like that, when it's clearly won, you cannot
He wants to get
tell
the
him.
kill, huh?
You say, Polly, pull back. Polly, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. But I mean that's the thing about very competitive players. They always want to get the kills themselves.
See, Stimrog is relatively unhurt. He really didn't have to do too much that match.
No, and I mean the
The
strategy
goat's
to
unhurt.
distract him was really not bad. It just didn't play out in the end, especially due to that the assaults of RJF got hurt so bad by the strikes and
Oh
then even
yeah,
lost their traits.
I was looking at the
So
strike on EMP at the time, thinking it was going to be huge, and it actually just swung the other way.
yeah.
The RNG god smiled upon the EMP assaults big time. There was a strike, just I mean, right on the numbers.
And it's interesting to me always things like that. If you look at situations like that, you always feel like okay, there was RNG in the play, and this team was a little bit more lucky than the other one. And I remember a quote from a famous tennis player. I think it was Michael Stich, and he said once, "The more I practice, the more lucky I get."
Well, God Squad has some EMP players. I gotta say it's easy to say because of the leaders having been on the EMP team to just call them EMP, but technically they're a mashup of different,
They
um,
are, they are,
many
but all
different
good players,
teams.
obviously.
So we only have Magoat and Stimrog as the EMP, but they are the team captains. So
And let's have a look at the damage numbers here. By the way, on the RJF side, Slave Labor in the Beagle 1 did 537 damage,
with two peeps,
which
that
was
is a
quite
lot.
impressive. Yes, that's quite a lot, especially in this short time. It was just 6.5 minutes total.
It's look,
Um,
it's looking like Slave Labor is really doing the bulk of the damage for their team so far.
I mean, he has always been one of the strongest RJF pilots anyways, and if I remember correctly, I think he was in EU on Eon. Um, when they were still active for quite a while,
Oh, okay.
which was the strongest European counterpart to EMP.
Well, we have a 5-2 match. Get back and we'll switch players.
We're gonna switch them out real quick. And then we're gonna move to the
51
next
team
map.
damage from Toaster on the EMP side. And the assassin,
Trying to get the kill, huh?
he's trying to get something, but it I didn't see who it rolled through. No other team damage really of note. Um, Magoat did quite well in the ERP Blackjack. Actually, he might have been the one that landed that strike on. In fact, it had to be that strike.
It had to be, yes.
Yeah. Ooh, just cored all those internals. We'll go over to the map strats page.
Perfect. We are moving to Hibernal Rift right now
Well, I'm going to talk about
with.
that
Ep-
game for a second.
oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Please go
I
ahead.
I saw when I initially looked at RJF's deck, I thought that they were going to be completely counter decked, and then when I looked at um, God Squad's deck, it seemed much more even. Although the LB2s was an interesting choice instead of AC2s. That Mauler is quite strong, but why? I guess take the Mauler and not something like a Warhawk or a Direwolf. Those are the other meta choices, but ultimately it's not wrong. It's not just a bad choice.
Yeah.
It's really
And
what you like to
and he
play.
has nice shielding arms actually.
But from EMP, that's true. Yes. You had the normal trading positions up around the dropship, and RJF initially set up with the line right here. So you had two trading lines, and then the lights did their normal kind of feel each other out, close to Theta but not in danger or in harm's way, and it evolved from there with RJF doing a very obvious push into the city. And I don't think that was wrong. I think that was about all they could do, especially after catching that strike.
Yes. At this
But
point of time, there was no choice left.
but the interesting thing is the assassin and the Vulcan from EMP went all the way out to Epsi as RJF was moving in, and it's almost like if they could have or known, and I think they did know, if they could have just gotten to this dropship area a little quicker, it might have been a 5v3. And I was interested to see how that played out. They didn't quite get there. The Vigo had to run.
Yes.
He was near Theta. He was about right here. He had to run straight across to get away from those lights. He saw them. I actually thought there was going to be a 2v1 over there, and I don't know if I was his, I would have taken it. Maybe pulled them way back, you know, toward the team one spawn even, and just give your team a 4 versus 3 advantage. I don't know.
Yes.
It played out in EMP's favor because the early strike, and when the Annihilator finally did peek and catch Polly in the low ground, the Annie was right here. When he did peek and catch Polly in the low ground, um, he was just too hurt to do anything.
And that were LBXs on the NE, weren't it?
Oh, there were LBXs and not AC2s. Is that? Did I miss that?
I
Yeah.
think so. I think so.
Well, in any
So
case, another match
I think
for
it was kind of a
God Squad.
mixed strategy maybe by RJF. They were hoping to win some of the trades, especially with the help of their lights or fast mediums, and just for the case that doesn't play out, they wanted to have some kind of advantage maybe for a more brawly situation with a higher crit chance from the LBXs. Who knows?
Yes, yeah. Hmm. Oh, I'm looking over at chat. Looks like we have a discussion about whether God Squad is EMP or not. And I think I covered that earlier.
I'm checking if team 1 is good to go.
See, we have 3 WKL players from last season, so we should be rather be called WKL. I would say I would call you WKL if the team leader was WKL and you actually played those players. But I'd say that in jest.
Yeah, I mean, I read a little bit higher up that EMP always played pilots from other teams, uh, which is
I don't know if that was I don't sarcasm or
kind of
not. I don't
true.
know. Yeah,
No,
might be
it
true.
is
It's
kind
true.
of true. There were people like Proton,
Mm-hmm.
who was on Black Spikes in EU at the same time while playing on EMP and playing on the EMP team for the World Championships all the time and not with his home team, Black Spikes. Um, it's true in part, but I think the main reason has always been that EMP was a pure comp team They were dedicated to comp. They were not interested in anything else, and therefore
Mm-hmm.
they
Oh, we
were
got both
not
teams
as
locked too. Sorry.
yes, great. So we can
Yeah.
launch, and I'm just gonna launch us here real quick. So therefore, they were not that keen that everybody has to wear their tags. They didn't care too much about that. All they
Right.
wanted is have the best pilots in
Right.
NA on their team, no matter where they came from, the best pilots they could get their hands on. And the first team ever really trying to do the same in EU was Eon back in the day.
Ah, yeah. That's a very good point. So here we have precedents for all the opinions, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with
and
Paradox right now because that makes sense. Why not take the best player for that situation?
absolutely, and we did the same with Antero Scorpions back in the days as well, and had a couple pilots who kept their own tags. Who cares as long as they play
Mm-hmm.
properly? And I'm having a quick look at RJF here
Mm-hmm.
real quick. We have Volkodov in a Fafnir 5 with Ultra AC5s and 10s, and any with Ultra AC5 and 10s, Cyclops for Ultra AC5s, and I have to find the other
Now, yeah, and then
teammate
the
real
UX
quick.
Summoner and a Veagle on the other
Ah,
side.
great.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think it was. I'll go back over and check here as teams move into the initial position. EMP taking the hill. I think the Veagle is Peeps, two ER Peeps again, but this time Slave Laver is not in it. This is a strong AC deck from
Yes.
RJF and very normal for them. On God Squad side, we have a Hunchback, two Ultra 20 Hunchback. Of course, the Dire Whale AC2s, two Ultra 10s from Poly, Zeus and an Ultra 5 Ultra 10 Cyclops, and an Ultra 5 Ultra 10 Annie. And I'm deck wise, if RJF plays this right, I would give the match to RJF.
But McGoat took quite some damage already. His right shoulder is already open, and there's a strike coming in on Pauling
Oh, he
and
doesn't see
Xios,
it.
and it might hit Goat as well. No.
RJF has smiled upon the yet again Polly's headshot, by the way.
Oh wow.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Him in
Looks
the
like they're
back taking some damage right now. But
Fafnir's taking lots of damage. I don't know why they stalled on this hill with that with that some strike damage. They just need to push that side. It looks like EMP is going to oblige them and push it for them.
and what's quite nice to see here, if you look at the mini-maps, what both teams are doing, they are spreading out far.
Bagoat's lost a torso. Wide Eyes is lost a torso as well. Pelmachek's going in. They can focus Magoat down. And
Volkodov
Volkodov
already
just
down.
8 CT damage. That's what the Fafnir's good for.
And Bowser's getting in with the Hunchback to C right now.
Strike on Stimrog. Let's see if it does any damage.
Helmashek and White Eyes are in real trouble right now, even if they have the bigger mechs, but the Hunchback to C with the two Ultra AC20s, he can dish out quite a lot of damage, and we can see it on Palmashek already.
Yes.
He is open CT, lost his left side torso, and White Eyes is basically one shot in the
RJF.
annihilator.
RJF just turtled up. They really just needed that strong side, low ground push to avoid the dire whale. But
Another strike that didn't hit.
wow, this is a lot of strikes that are just dead on the
Theos
money and don't
got
hit.
finally got slave labor in the summoner. White Eyes going down in the annihilator now. Palmashek following fast in the Cyclops.
It's gonna be a
Now
5-0.
it's down to MK, and there we go.
That's it. Yep. Quick
They
match.
cleaned up quickly in the end, yes. And what's quite interesting here again, God Squad spread the damage on the whole team very equally.
Yeah.
Stepping in and out of the fight, making sure that RJF was not able to finish one of them off.
Yes.
And that's the difference between the top tier teams and the other top tier teams who keep fighting hard but can't win against the teams this strong.
Bowser did 756 damage.
Yes.
I'm gonna
I
say a lot
think
of
there
that was
was a
strikes
strike in.
again,
Yes,
but
certainly.
it potentially could put that much out. Hunchback
Yes.
has such weak torsos, but I guess
And
it's
but with the two Ultra AC20s, he dished out a lot of damage.
yes that.
But looking at RJF, they had actually a quite nice damage spread. 400 for MK, 315 for slave labor, 397 for Pelmashek, White Eyes, and then later 271. And Volkodov died kind of early in the Fafnir with just 241 damage. But in the end, it's not enough.
Well, the
It's not
Fafnir,
enough,
you want to take
unfortunately.
it, because you want to. You're like, oh, it just looks good on paper with the amount of armor. It's just everything goes into the CT. It's why it has so much armor, and that's exactly how they killed him. Just I clicked on him once through the battle. He was yellow CT, not damaged anywhere else, and then he died shortly after. So, it,
Very unfortunate.
yes, I thought that they had some. They had an opportunity there. They really did. Um, but unfortunately, they just stopped moving, stopped being dynamic in terms of like where they were going to go with what they had, and then as soon as they did that, they just ate some strikes. It's fine to say I want to take this point or this power position or something, but I think all three assaults were in behind one rock at some point in time, and
Yes.
that was the strike that Bowser laid early. He really got around that corner early.
He got there at the right point of time, distracting them enough, got the strike in there, and moved up to them after that. And I mean, God Squad did what their players are really great at. They spread out and they won their trading matches.
Yep. But just going off the decks, just the deck alone, I felt like RJF had the stronger deck choice still.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean, what God Squad did was, in my opinion, quite smart with his Hunchback to C. Um, moving up a little bit, having this very high burst damage,
Oh yes.
and putting them really in trouble.
But if
That
you
made sure that they couldn't take this power stance.
yes, but if and it's a good jumper, and I'm not discounting it. It was well played by Bowser. RJF didn't have an answer for it, but you put like an alpha into that,
Sure.
it's dead or it's heavily gimped. If you have the processing power and speed to do it fast enough, you see an Annie come around the corner, you're going to shoot it. But really, and then there was a 2v1 on Polly, and Polly held off the 2v1 on the other side quite well, just occupying the low ground, pop tarting.
Yes. He kept it alive very well.
Hmm.
But that's what I mentioned earlier. That's what these pilots are really good at. They know when to rotate out and let somebody else take the hurt for them. They are sharing armor very smartly, making sure that they come up at a different point, at a different angle, not drawing too much attention, just taking a couple additional shots before they hide again to make sure that they um, won't be taken down, and therefore the other team still has to account for them.
Yes.
So we are getting close to our final drop today with both teams. So far, God Squad won every single drop, and it's about time for RJF to maybe take at least the final drop,
Now, out of all
because
the
they are a
matches,
strong team.
yeah, out of all the matches, this is the one that could potentially suit RJF again. I'm predicting AC2s, heavy AC2 spam from the God Squad players. But I mean, you can push that. You can do lots of stuff against that. If you trade with that, it's going to be tough. I've seen a lot of trade matches. I've seen a lot of push matches not work. I mean, but I think at this point, if you're RJF, what do you have to lose? You got to try something a little bit different. Pull out a win.
But on the other hand, we are in Tourmaline Desert.
Well, it's Epsi Cap.
It's EPSI cap, I
Yeah.
admit that. But
Yeah.
Tourmaline Desert, for every comp player, it's a very, very well-known map. It comes up again and again
Oh
and
yeah.
again in all kinds of leagues and tournaments because it's a good comp map.
Yes.
Therefore, they all know it inside out. And it's a map where you can trade well, especially with Dakar. It's one of the favorite Dakar maps of a lot of comp teams because it's so hot.
Yep.
It's not it's not really good for laser vomit or anything like that, and you have a lot of long range stuff. Therefore, people like to take Dakar using different kinds of approaches, obviously.
Yes.
Some trading, some pushing in hard.
And
And
let's see,
I
team
mean,
one's
we
almost
know
locked here.
the God Squad players, they played this map a million times already, and they are good at both. It's gonna be hard for RJF to take this drop from them. And we have team 1 locked. Team 2 getting ready. I would expect a lot of Dakar again. Maybe, most likely from both teams.
Our chat is hating on me, but also I'm looking at the chat, and I think every person that commented on me saying RJF brought a stronger deck is on the God Squad team or somewhat related
Yeah,
to EMP. So yeah. Um,
Ripstim, no leftover farm. Yeah, poor Stim didn't get the damage he wanted to.
I believe I highlighted the issues with the Fafnir. So
You certainly did.
I
You
did.
certainly did.
I was actually commenting on the rest of the deck, but that's fine. Um, Here we go into
Yeah,
Terma.
I
Okay,
just hope we're gonna get some kind of fun drop out of this.
the
Maybe
2v2s
things
was
get a
so
bit
good.
crazy. Yes! That was actually the closest drop, wasn't it?
And it's not like, I mean, RJF, as we've established, is a very good team. We're not saying RJF is, I mean, it's a bad team.
They deserve to be in Division A. No questions asked. They are
Yeah,
top-notch team.
yeah, but they don't have an answer playing against this God Squad team. And they've God Squad has happily kind of sat back in their firing line or pushed the firing line around and just received RJF and whittled them away. A lot of early damage, a lot of strike damage, and um, for the strikes that did hit, I think they hit RJF. I think God Squad has
The,
gotten really RNG, smiled
the
and
thing
blessed them.
the thing about RJF here is they are teams are ready, by the way.
Yes.
Um, they are a top-notch team, and on a good day, they can beat any other team. But they happen to have a couple of bad days as well. And I've seen this in the World Championships a few times.
Hmm.
They had matches where they were basically unbeatable.
And then other times that just nothing went right for them.
And other times just things didn't work out like they wanted to, no matter how good and great their pilots are. And I mean, these are all pilots who have been around MWO since day one, basically. This was the
Yes.
Duff and Slave Labor and Palmashek and the other guys. I'm not quite sure about everybody. Sorry, my memory is not the best anymore.
Almost forgot to switch the teams
And
here.
Makina is saying EMP playing in slip, not in any drops, sad face. Yeah, I feel you, Makina. I feel you. It's. I was hoping to see them slip a little bit at least to make things a bit more interesting. That would have been nice.
All right, we'll go with the MP first. We have a Vulcan 5T with medium pulse on the Dervish, medium pulse, two Dervishes, a Rifleman 2C Overwatch, and a Commando. So really, it's a pulse deck with the Rifleman Overwatch. Let's see what the answer is going to be. Let's see what RJF has.
The answer is gonna be Brawl. MRMs,
Two MRMs, a Vulcan, a Wolfhound, and a Veagle
medium
with
pulse,
AC2 Veagle. Yep, Ultra 2 Veagle.
AC2 Vehicle as Overwatch.
Similar, very mirror deck almost. Almost. The Quick Chalk's moving in for free.
And teams are moving in fast. This is going to be over in a very short
Yes.
time.
Yes, Stimrock taking a good bit of damage to his CT. That's good focus fire.
He does, but he knows how to position himself to make sure.
He does, and the rest of
He's
his team is in the way. Really, RJF needs to move in, and they are. Wide Eyes is really taking about a mirror amount of damage in the back.
But Stim is really hurt now right now. His right side torso is one shot.
Oh, sorry.
He's losing it.
He's lost. He's tanking. He's done.
He's done. RJF is smelling blood here. RJF is smelling blood. They are moving in.
If they
Who's
focus fire,
next?
they've got this match. Looks
If
like
they do,
Polly is
but White
being
Eyes is hurt.
legged. Polly's being legged. Polly is going to go down. Next. Polly is down.
Polly is down. But
Pelmashek
Pelmashek died as well.
legged. Volkodov is also legged, but he's being left alone. They're going for
And
Magoat
God's
next.
turn this around. White
Oh,
Eyes
wow.
is
Magoat went
hurt.
down quick. Wow.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh, Zeos is in
And
trouble.
White Eyes managed to stay alive back there.
Yes, and he's still dishing damage out with his AC. Zeos is going to be targeted. He's almost down. He's going to be legged. He can't shield it, and that's wrong leg, right leg.
But now they got him. Now they got him. It's just Bowser and the Commando. He's almost fresh and he is dangerous. We shouldn't forget that.
Okay. Yes. Let's see. Is he? He's hurt. Bowser's. And I saw
And
this
Bowser
played out in the
can
match yesterday.
still turn this around.
I
I mean, White Eyes dropped down. I understand why, but this might have been a mistake right now.
Well, White Eyes needs to turn around. Is he weaponless? Yes, he is. So it's up to.
Bowser's gonna win this.
Oh, he got away from him. Let's see if he turns and gets some damage. Oh.
Bowser's doing the smart thing here. He's going for White Eyes.
Yeah, he's gonna
he
get the
wants to
cap.
take him out.
Bowser took MPL. He had to turn around.
There's the strike.
Oh, and missed shot. We saw this in the match yesterday. JGX Commando actually carried the match. At the end of the match, Commando's just so tanky. And he
now
is
MK
legged.
is legged. The other leg is one shot basically, and Bowser is just
waiting.
for the shot.
He's guarding very well. Mark IV is guarding this leg very well.
Bowser has to be careful not to get legged here.
Oh, a strike right on him. Oh, playing with fire. And he's running away.
Left leg is hurt as well.
Is he gonna make it? Oh, it gets him!
Oh,
Now.
that was a smart move by Bowser.
Wow. All right.
He's heading for Epsi right now.
Yes, Bowser is pretty.
And White Eyes
Puts a strike on.
is in an Overwatch position.
Well, he doesn't have any weapons. He's weaponless.
Yeah, he's weaponless. I see. So that.
Now, does Bowser have SRMs? Why does get on the cap? I don't know if Bowser has any weapons left. I think that's why he had to do the strike. And basically, if White Eyes goes and sits on the cap, and Bowser doesn't have any weapons,
Can he turn it around?
then
no,
EMP
now-
wins. I'm sorry, God Squad wins. So he has weapons.
See, he still has some SMs left.
He must
Probably
not have a
not
lot.
a lot.
Wow. Is he out of? Okay, I've got to know.
He
Hold on.
probably is out of ammo.
No, he's got 56 rounds left. Come on.
Alright.
But he's looking at this Vigo going, I don't have enough
There's a
damage
strike.
left to kill him if
There's another strike.
If
was
he had
waiting
stayed-
for the strike.
Oh, no. If he had
Look at that.
stayed on the cap, he's going to get this torso now. There it is.
Yes.
But if he had stayed on that cap, then it's very possible that we would have been left with two mechs. Not able to kill each other with RJF winning.
But I'm so happy that we finally got another close match in the end. I didn't expect that, to be honest.
And there it is.
And I read the chat. Everybody was shouting for God Squad to slip, Beer Claw slip please, Alligator slipped. But I have to disappoint all of you. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. We were all hoping for this in a way, cheering for the underdog here, even if it's such a strong team as RJF.
You find
And I
yourself
think-
cheering for the underdog, don't you?
Of course, and it's such a nice team. I've scrimmed with RJF so many times, and they've always been super nice and super cooperative and super helpful. And it's a really great team. So if
Yes. Oh, okay, we're looking up the damage. 671 damage for Bowser and the Commando in the
4 kills,
and this assault Mando, and
Bowser took it home again.
boy, that was what I wanted to see RJF do in the other matches. Just take that initiative, be
Yeah.
more
And I
aggressive.
mean, look at the damage spread on RJF. It's
Oh, and
it's
they
pretty
were legging.
perfect.
They were legging too,
Yeah,
so that's the kind of damage you expect. The dervishes went down so fast, and the legging, which is why you see that reduced overall damage. Wow, good games. Well, Paradox, thanks for co-casting.
my pleasure.
Hope our viewers enjoyed it. I'll give them a taste of the scoreboard, with God Squad ending with 52 points and RJF ending with 11, with drops 1 and drop the last drop, and really the 2v2s all being very close. The middle set not very close, but with some exciting starts and a very exciting ending.
Certainly. And while I'm still reading up a little bit of the chat, Chimera actually was quite smart. He wrote in chat, Bowser's team still has like 200 tons on the field. It's all good. He saw it coming, basically.
Right.
But again, Nate, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. I think I haven't casted in a very long time, and you made it super easy for me to come back to this beautiful game and enjoy this premium comp match between two really great teams.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
hope
Fantastic teams.
we see all our visitors back again. Thank you everybody for joining us here, watching this match, and we will keep cheering with you in the next matches for the underdog, of course.
Yes, of course. All right. Signing
Thank
off.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.